Now we will study regarding the architecture of Chinese civilization. The Chinese had developed an excellent sense of architectural work. One of the best specimens of their achievement in this field is the Great Wall of China. This is very famous. We all know about Great Wall of China. This was one of the greatest specimen of architecture achieved by the achieved by the Chinese civilization, which is considered as one of the seven wonders of the world also. It was built in the 3rd century BC to ward off, means to keep away the attacks from the Tartars. These Tartars were some kind of tribal people. They used to frequently attack the Chinese empire. So that is why, in order to keep away the attacks of the Tartars, this Great Wall of China was built, and it was built by Emperor Shi Huangdi. It was built for some kind of defense strategy. Defense strategy means to protect their country from these attacks. This Great Wall starts from the Eastern Sea. So this Great Wall of China, this is the entire extension of this Great Wall of China. It runs from the Eastern Sea, runs across northern and western frontiers, means borders of China, and reaches Tibet. Thus it runs over. So Great Wall of China covers the deserts, mountains and plains of the Chinese civilization. It is also said that thousands of workers and slaves took 7 years to complete this structure. This Great Wall of China was completed in a span of 7 years by thousands of workers. Other significant pieces of Chinese architecture are the stupa type temples called the pagodas. We can see here the stupa type temple, they are called the pagodas. The picture is given here. The inside of a pagoda has beautiful paintings drawn on the walls. Here is the definition, new word of pagoda: a religious building on a sacred tower of pyramidal form. This looks like a pyramidal form. So it is a religious building on a sacred tower. This looks like a pyramid, so it is a pyramidal form, and this is a pagoda. Then trade and commerce. The Chinese had developed trade relations with countries. So China had trade relations with other countries like Egypt, Greece, Rome, Iran, India, and others, and on the Mediterranean Sea. The main items they exported were, so the items of export were tea, silk and silk products, China ware, pottery and paper. So these were the items of export. Export, already I have told you that the products that are sent to other countries. Then what kind of religious beliefs they had? The Chinese religion is one of the oldest forms of religion. Evidence of burial practices has been dated to as early as 5000 BCE. So the Chinese religion was one of the oldest religion of the world, and they had this burial practice which went back to 5000 BCE. Archaeological evidence from Neolithic China. Already we have studied about Neolithic age, that is the New Stone Age. So the New Stone Age of China shows remarkable amount of care and rituals with regard to burial practices. So the archaeological evidence that came from the Neolithic China, it shows us that great care was taken with this burial practices. And then characteristics of 5th millennium BCE burial practices include. So this we will study in the 5th millennium BCE what kind of burial practices were going on in China. That is segregation of the dead into what appear to be kinship grouping. Segregation means division of the dead. The burial practices was divided according to kinship groupings, that is family groupings, means every family they had a particular ground in which that particular family will be buried. So that is why the segregation was done, means division of the burial practices was done. Then graveside ritual offerings of liquids, pig skulls and pig jaws. There were some kind of offerings was made in the graveside. That was a kind of ritual where the offerings were some kind of liquid, pig skulls and pig jaws. These were also found in those graveyards. The Chinese were worshippers of nature god, like the people of other river valleys. So like the other river valley civilizations, Chinese people also worshipped the forces of nature. They regarded the king of China as son of the heaven god called Shangli. So the king of China was regarded as the son of the heaven god called Shangli. Then Confucius. Confucius was one of the greatest philosophers of China and the world. He lived during 551 BC to 479 BC. He is Confucius. He was one of the greatest philosopher or religious teacher of China. His teachings have a universal appeal. Universal appeal means his teachings were considered by people of all over the world, not only in China but also all over the world. They are popular all over the world. The philosophy and religion advocated by Confucius is known as Confucianism. This is very important. The religion that was taught by Confucius was known as Confucianism. His main teachings may summed up briefly as under. So these are his teachings. What are his teachings? We will study. Confucius believed in humility towards all, means respect towards all. He believed in respect towards all. He taught, do unto others as you wish others to do unto you. So you treat others as a way that you yourself want to be treated by others. He taught that admission of one's error is a great virtue. He taught that if we accept our own mistake, our own error, that is the greatest virtue, that is a very good deed. He who errs and does not admit, a person who errs means does mistake but does not admit errs twice. He is doing the mistake twice, was his principle. He taught his followers to respect their elders and ancestors. Then what kind of science and technology existed in China? The Chinese made a remarkable advancement in astronomy. So the Chinese made a remarkable advancement in astronomy. Astronomy, already I told you, it is the study of celestial bodies. They counted that there were 365 days and 12 months in a year. They devised a big astronomical clock. They used lunar and solar calendars. They could also predict eclipses, solar and lunar eclipses. These eclipses were also predicted by these Chinese people. They also developed a system to keep record of weather, rainfall, droughts, floods, etc. They had a system in which they could record weather, they could record rainfall, droughts. Droughts are the periods of dryness, floods, etc. The Chinese also invented seismograph. The seismograph was used to predict earthquakes and keep their record. So these Chinese were the first people who developed the seismograph. Seismograph was the instrument that could predict earthquake. Along with this, the other inventions that made by the Chinese were mariner's compass, that is a compass that used to show direction, umbrella, paper and gunpowder. They were also the first to invent writing ink. They introduced banking and paper currency also, first among all. They were the first persons who introduced banking and paper currency. Now we will come to the question answer part. First is name the two rivers on which Mesopotamian civilization flourished, that is Tigris and Euphrates. The spelling is in the book. You can see that spelling and write down. Name the chief gods worshipped in Mesopotamia. We will come to page 29. Here are the names of the chief gods: Enlil, Marduk, Asur, Ishtar. These are the names you have to write down. Then who was Hammurabi? Page number 30. We will come to page number 30. Hammurabi was a great king. From here we will write down this code of law. So this full first paragraph from Hammurabi till code of law is the answer of A3. The number 4, what was stylus? We will come to page 31. Here in New Word the definition of stylus is given. This is the answer of stylus. Then next question is define sexagesimal. Page number 32. Page number 32 from 60. 60 was an important number till sexagesimal. This is the definition of what is sexagesimal. Then number 6. Name the civilization which flourished on the banks of river Nile. This we will write down Egyptian civilization. Then what is a mummy? We will come to page 34. So we will write down the Egyptians thought that there was life after death. That is why they took great care to preserve the dead bodies. Such a preserved dead body is known as a mummy. So this is the answer of A7. Only the portion that is underlined. See carefully, the portion that is underlined, only that much will be the answer of A7. Then number 8, what is hieroglyphic script? We will come to page 35. Here hieroglyphic script of Egypt heading is given. This is the answer. The Egyptians also knew the art of writing. Their script is called hieroglyphic script or the sacred writing. Up to sacred writing is the answer of A8. Then number 9. Who deciphered the hieroglyphic script? Again we will come to page 35. This is the answer. Hieroglyphic script was deciphered by Champollion, who was a great French decipherer. This bracket portion is given. This is the answer of A9. Then number 10. A10. What are pagodas? We will come to page 37. This new word is given. Pagoda, a religious building on a sacred tower of pyramidical form. This is the answer of what is pagoda. Then name the most important occupation of the people of Wang Ho civilization. So here answer is agriculture. Agriculture is the most important occupation of the people of Wang Ho civilization. Then mention the two periods. So Mesopotamian, you will write down 5000 BC to 500 BC. Egyptian, you will write down 3000 to 2000 BC. And Chinese, you will write down nearly 4500 years ago. Now we will start with long question. Analyze the main occupations of the Mesopotamian people. So we will come to page that is 30. Page 30. Occupation and crafts heading is given. So we will write down point wise. First point, agriculture was one of the main occupation of the people. So this is first point. Then second point, the domestication of animals such as cows, goats, oxen, sheep and asses, and using them for their benefit. This is second point. And third point is Mesopotamian people were skilled craftsmen also. So these are the 3 points under B1. Then B2. There were 3 social classes in the Mesopotamian society explained. So we will come to page 29. Page 29, 3 social classes. You can see here as it is written, you will write down like that. So first point you will give the upper class and write down up to high officials, from the upper class till high officials, first point. Second point, the middle class till artisans, and third point, the lower class till land. So this underlined portion, please write down only this underlined portions and point wise, most importantly point wise. Then number 3, discuss Hammurabi's code of law. So we will come to page 30. Hammurabi and his code of law heading is given. So again you have to write down from Hammurabi till code of law, you are writing it again, and then you have to write down these points. So you will write down main features of Hammurabi's code of law. Again I am saying first paragraph you are writing down again in this answer from Hammurabi till code of law. Then you are giving this heading, main features of Hammurabi's code of law, this heading you are giving. Then you are writing these points, 4 points. 4 points not required, any 3 points of your choice you can write down. So these are the points. First point, his laws or code covered every aspect of life. First point, only this much you will write down. Second point, the code recognized the division of society into rich men, poor men and slaves. Second point, up to slaves you will write down. Then third point, the main principle of the code was that the strong shall not injure the weak. This is the third point. And fourth point, the code was contained. The code also contained rules about family life, trading, treatment of workers. So 4 points I have given you. Any 3 points of your choice you can write down.